All right, man. Oh, I already broke the speaker. Shit. All right. We back with Father Pod episode 2. And yeah, man, it's exciting. Finally got the episode 2 down. I was trying to do every month, but last month it didn't work. And I had to call the reinforcements back. We got our boy Vince back again for the second episode. And then we have a special guest today that hasn't been on any of my podcast videos or episodes. My boy PJ, I've known for a really long time. It's like family. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yep.
Thank you for having me. It's a
Appreciate it
for sure.
And you are technically family.
Yeah, we are cousins now.
Yeah, so
Since I
married to my cousin.
Since I married yours.
Yeah, so yeah, man. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Glad for another blessing for episode 2. And hopefully we can keep this episodes going, because I really liked the first one. Like I said, it was very informative, and I think we're very how you say that, open to expressing what fatherhood is. I mean, a lot of fathers don't talk about struggles, talk about stress, talk about just daily life that we go through. And I'm not saying before all the women come at me, I'm not saying moms don't go through shit too, but I feel like a lot of men hurt in silence, or how do you say that, stress in silence.
Yeah.
All that stuff, because we don't express ourselves much. So I thought it would be good to have a lot of men that I know in my life that I would assume go through struggles and stress and all that stuff like that, to be able to air their stuff out as well. All right, man. Let's get into Father Pod. And first, I just wanted to give thanks to all the fathers out there. I'm sure I'm not going to have another pod before Father's Day. Father's Day is coming up, so shout out to all the fathers out there, all the hardworking fathers that don't get to see their families, all the ones that can't see their families because they're working too much, and all the ones that are there for their kids, man. Obviously, I grew up without a dad. Not a lot of people get the privilege of having both parents, so shout out to all the kids out there that are rocking with one parent. Shout out to the moms who are doing both jobs. Shout out to the dads who are doing both jobs. So yeah, happy Father's Day to everyone, and happy Mother's Day to everybody as well that goes to. So again, thank you, Vincent. Thank you, PJ, for being here. Hopefully this is another great episode. And then we'll get straight into it. Right now we're gonna go really light, PJ.
Yeah.
Okay? We're not
We're
not gonna go hard and heavy. It's gonna be a lot of I like to ease us in,
Please do.
I like to get us comfortable.
It's low-key different on this side of the
So my first topic I want to cover is basketball. Obviously, we all know basketball. Everybody on this couch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA right now that I'm not a fan of. So one thing I do want to ask is, I know previous episode we talked about, MVP and all that stuff. I want to know now what's missing from basketball, because I watch, and I don't want to say it's hard for me to get into the game, but something's missing to me. Like something that I'm watching is not there anymore. And I don't know if maybe it's the Mamba. Maybe it's just Kobe not being here anymore.
We got spoiled a little bit with him.
Well, it's not even that. I did just him not being here, period, like in life, right?
100%.
Watching basketball, maybe the love, or maybe just him not being here is making me sad watching baskall, right?
I still watch a lot of Kobe highlights.
All the time. That's yeah.
Every day.
On the drive here, I was just watching clips of players talking about Kobe.
That's all the time.
I think it's gonna be forever though.
Yeah, that's all the
Vince,
time.
if you want to go answer that first, I have an idea, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you want to go first, you want me?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Biggest thing for me, I think it's the passion, personally. Like, I think, like, with the playoffs going on right now, I think we've seen a level jump of desire and passion from every team. Yeah, the physicality's up. Yeah, the refs are letting go. Sadly, tough injuries for a lot of players that we've seen, especially with the Jason Tatum situation. But I think we only see that during the playoffs. I don't know how far back we have, but I think going back with Kobe, we saw that passion all 82 games.
Yeah.
Yep.
In practice, in the summer, even pickup games. Like, for example, that's why I like Anthony Edwards, and his desire to try to just go after everybody. He's pushing LeBron and he's fighting LeBron, and LeBron's down 3-1 and he's like laughing and joking around. And
Yeah. Oh man,
these
that
memes
pissed
going
me
around
off.
like Kobe's pissed up 2-0 because the
Yep.
job finished, it ain't finished, and he's 3-1. I get it, he supports him, but on the court,
I was so
we
mad,
could
bro.
be friends, right? Like when we battled before we teamed up, and you guys had me on the organized noise team. We were cool off the court, but when we were on it,
We hit
we
you.
were like, we wanted to. Man, well, that's why I had to. That's why I had to join the team a little bit. We got roughed up. Like we would fight, we would cuss each other out. We wouldn't hurt each other, but we
hit you.
you hit me a lot. But the passion was there because we understood and respected the game. I don't think that's personally there all 82 games. You see players take games off, and now they want to talk about shortening the season because you don't want to get injured.
And to your point, right? I feel like LeBron can't get a pass
Fair.
because LeBron has been in each decade,
Yeah.
right?
That's fair.
He came in
That's
the
fair.
decade of what you're talking about, passion. Kobe's, he went to the second decade of that part of basketball where everyone was getting paid,
Yep.
right? And now you get to this third, I would call it the third decade of this, of this fucking, I don't want to call it a decade, but this third segment of the fucking NBA era.
Yeah.
Where I just feel like nobody cares about basketball anymore. And I'm not saying they don't care to
I
play.
know what you mean.
I don't see the love.
The hunger is not there.
Yeah.
They're not hungry.
Because paycheck's
They're-
huge.
The paycheck is huge. It's hard to be hungry when you're eating good.
Yeah.
At a young age.
You know, so it's guaranteed money. Also, it's not like football, right? It's guaranteed money. They get paid. Now, it's gonna be a tough problem to fix. You know, I think star players are taking games off, which is bad for the fans. Like I remember last season I took Aaron to a Laker game, and Laker games are expensive.
Yep.
And I took him to a Laker game because my son's a LeBron fan, and I was like, dude, like LeBron better show up to play today.
Yeah.
And we get to the game and he's not warming up, and I'm like, dude, he's not gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't go through warm ups, and at the last second he comes out. He ended up playing.
Yeah.
It was a game against Dallas against Luka,
Mm-hmm.
but that game was Luka it was a game time decision for both of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I paid a lot of money
Yeah.
to see the stars, and if they weren't gonna play, it
point?
sucks.
Yeah.
Luckily they both played, and Luka,
Yeah.
both of them played a good game. But,
Yeah.
I think as fans coming from the game as we played it growing up, we just want competitive basketball,
Yeah.
including the stars, right? And we're seeing that now, and I think we've been searching for someone to have that passion. We see that with Edwards, and I think that's why we hold LeBron. It's win or lose with him, right? I think because he came from the era he came in and grew up with the people he grew up with, we hold him to that standard of like hoping to have that same mentality with the young guys coming up, and it like tears us apart when he's like not doing that.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Personally, I think it's passion.
And there's also no rivalries in sports right now.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of there's you could still say that Celtics. Like I hate the Celtics still.
I'm so happy the Knicks. did
Yeah,
that.
me too.
I'm honestly, I'm telling you right now,
Fair.
I'm rooting for the Knicks to win a championship, bro. I really, I'm so happy they beat the
But do you
Celtics.
remember those series that we had against Portland, against Sacramento?
We hate each other.
I
Spurs.
know. But like Spurs, Phoenix,
Yeah.
like weren't those like even during the season game? Those games were like Rick Fox fought what's his
Doug
name?
Christie?
Doug Christie in the preseason game.
Yeah.
There's a passion and respect that way. That's why.
But now like what rivalries are there really?
No, everyone's friends. I get it, but we're friends too. But we didn't want to take each other's heads off when we didn't play each other.
When we get in between those lines, if you're not on my team,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like even.
Why do
my
you think I
cousin-
went to
even-
organized night?
Look, even like just off a rip, right? Even when like the time where I fell out with my cousins, and we're playing in Basso, and they're playing, on another team. I love you, but once the ball goes up, I'm a killer.
That was that was a good fun Basso season.
I was a fucking killer, bro. Like I mean, I love you, but at the same time, it's like once the ball goes up, you are no longer my family. Like as long as you don't have the same jersey as me,
Yeah.
You remember that one LA Showcase tournament, and Mark decided to play with Don's All-Star team?
And we fucking
Don put up a All-Star team with Cuejo,
Uh-huh.
and Mark was like,
He played with them?
yeah.
Mark was like,
no,
Vince,
no,
I'm gonna run with them. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and then you never
So
played again?
they won, but Mark didn't have a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair. And that's
Yeah.
sometimes that's a win. In our case, hey, you can beat us.
I think that was the one thing that we all agreed upon. We're like, if we win or lose, Mark is gonna get his.
That is fair.
We told Abe. You know Abe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We told Abe. I'm like, Abe, I don't care what happens.
I love Abe.
Mark is not gonna score this year.
That is fair. And in some of our battles, when I was with Ray's cousins, Brian and Mark, and growing up with them, and when I was on their team and I played with them, and we went against Ray. We knew Ray was gonna come after us. The goal was just keep Ray to 25, because he averaged that eyes closed. He'll drop 50 one game by himself, and we're stacked. Then the next Basso season, me, Ray, I think that season we won with Justin Benvaje and my brother. It was like, we got to go stop them. And now it was, let's keep these guys down. And sometimes it was like, Ray could beat us. Ray's team can beat us. We'll lose by 5. But if we can hold Ray to like 5 and he's
It's
mad,
a win.
that's a win for us. So I get it. But that's basketball nowadays, right? And it's...
And what do we always say, Vince? Just don't talk to him.
don't talk to Ray.
And it's funny. It's the funniest shit, right? I'll be sleepwalking through the game. Like we are just
First half.
We're just going through the motions. I'm going through the motions of the whole game, and we're like down by 5 or up by 5, And then they just start talking shit to me,
And then that's it.
and then it's just like I just turn. It's just blackout.
He gets 40 and a half and we lose by 20.
Well, we had Justin on the squad too, Spank.
Oh, yeah. He's
So-
a dog. Yeah.
So like he was our talker also, and when he gets going and he gets the other team going, and the other team starts talking to Ray,
It's like both of us, me and him now, are just like me and Justin just start running that shit.
I was a part of that.
Yeah,
Before when I played against you guys, it was Spank would talk to get you to talk to Ray. Because it was a strategy for him. Because he knows, okay, Ray's sleepwalking. He's like, oh, he just whatever. And then so he would talk to Ray. The moment you say something to Ray, night. So,
yeah,
it's one of those, and then it's just fuel for our team.
Yeah, and I
They
think
start talking. Everyone starts seeing me getting mad, and everyone starts getting mad. The screens get harder.
yeah, 100%.
but it was a different game too. It was a very different game. Like it was an inside out game. Like Ray had a 3-point shot, but everything was still downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to get in Ray's way when he
we were like everything was through the posts a lot of times.
And to touch on that, right, to go back to the point too, Ray's game was at all levels.
Yeah.
If you look at the game now, it's
Just outside.
30 out.
Yeah.
Maybe in the post. Who has a mid-range? Some have a mid-range. Shy has one he's working on. Tatum maybe. Anthony Edwards has one. But, like, no one works on their game in a way where it's all around and you have
I can't
even come up with the name.
It fucking dawns, like, it kills me inside, right? You have, like, Vando, right? Vanderbilt on our team. This motherfucker is elite at defense.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
He can't. Oh man.
He can't lay up the ball
Dude, there was like
to
so
save
many.
his life.
They throw
right?
the ball in the post. He's like,
He can't. And I'm like, bro, if he could be 35% from 3-point land, and knock down 8 out of 10 layups that he gets all the time,
that is fair.
he would have a bag.
Yeah, but he can't create a shot for himself.
No, the shots, I don't care about that because his game doesn't require that.
It's a layup
He's
or
just
a knockdown corner three.
He's just running around and you lose him and he gets a wide open layup and he misses the layup.
Yeah. You just need a layup or a corner three.
He makes 5 of those and knocks down 2 threes in a game. He's making a bag.
That is fair.
He is making a bag.
How many times in this series with the Lakers, and I don't think, as I am a Laker fan, but I'm also a realist, that probably would have went 6, even if we played well. How many times in the games that we lost where we'd miss one, we'd miss a layup and they'd go on a 12-0 run, and it would just change the course of the game.
Yep.
It's just, we knew that growing up.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was talking to them about that. Like we always talk about the Lakers when they lose or win or whatever, but I feel like this playoff series or this playoffs was just we're playing with house money.
We were
right.
I think we topped off.
The roster wasn't built for Luka. It was built for LeBron and AD, right? And we just they took it as far as they could.
Yeah.
Well, can you explain to me though, like why we didn't have Jackson Hayes play at all?
I think
like I never understood like.
It was.
We got to give Redick a little bit of grace, though. He's trying to figure it out.
No, that's what I said. I think it was just his first year. He was just trying different. Oh man,
Len is like the 17th guy on the bench. I don't even see him.
Len. I don't honestly.
But did Hayes have a bad like?
I think he wanted
played
to
the first
switch
game,
it up.
right?
Yeah.
Did he have a bad first game? He pulled him out like after 2 minutes.
I think defensively, maybe.
I think defensively he's just not. Well, because the thing is with what really kind of irked me is they found a way to keep Hayes on the floor, and you don't put him on a big man.
True.
Like he's a center.
Yeah.
On offense, right? He's our center on offense, but on defense, you can't play him as
he's too light.
Yeah, as a center, right?
Yeah. You
have to move him like you would Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis is really good at roaming. And that's what Jackson Hayes is. So you put him on a 4, a 3.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He's like help side.
Yes, and that's why Rui, it was a big help for us because you put Rui on the center.
Yeah.
He's strong.
Strong, and on Jokic, and then you just have Jackson Hayes roaming defensively.
Fair. Yeah.
He's much better at that.
What I realized was like once we took Jackson out of the game, we had Luka had no lob threat.
Yeah, nothing.
We had no lob threat.
He didn't.
So he would get into paint.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any like options like other than Austin would be outside.
Fair.
And I think the way you rebuild this roster is you need obviously a lob threat, but also we need to find a way to find a 3-level scorer that is not Austin and that is not
that
LeBron.
Is fair. I think we need a couple more big men too.
No, yeah. So you need a fucking dude from Adams from Houston. If we can get one bruiser, right? We need a bruiser. He doesn't need to jump, but he just needs to be a bruiser, right?
I think
who else thinks that Austin's gone?
I think he's gone.
No, you think so?
I think so.
I was gonna ask you that question.
They don't want to trade him, but if he doesn't sign his contract, they have to.
That's fair.
He's gonna demand like $45 million a year after this season.
Dang, y'all better numbers. I mean, that's fair. I was going with does he deserve the rap he got? Having a bad series.
No, he deserves. No. Look at Austin is a great player.
Playing with an injured toe, from what I heard, or injured something.
That's an Ant on him.
Yeah,
that's true.
He was guarding Ant.
And the playoffs is different.
Yeah, so
but he deserves the money, right?
Fair.
But 45. You think he's a $45 million player
at this rate? Yes. At this the way the money's going. Yeah. He deserves deserves that money.
Because right now they're paying him 14, so he's overplaying. He's overplaying the 14.
He's been overplaying though.
Yeah.
That contract that he signed with us, he only signed that because he knew that.
But he's not gonna sign an extension right now.
No.
So he's gonna wait till.
If I'm him, I'm getting trying to get as much as I can.
The only reason why I said they're gonna trade him is because he's an unrestricted free agent. He's not a restricted free agent.
Fair.
If he was a restricted free agent, they wouldn't trade him and they would just match whatever.
Yeah. That's fair.
But he's unrestricted, so he could walk away.
Try to get what you can for him. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I do not want another Trevor Ariza.
He just walks away.
Just walks away. Another Dwight Howard.
Oh my god.
Just walks away. If you know he's not going to sign the extension, you cannot. Yeah. And just like the Luka, they were saying, if he doesn't sign the extension over the summer, you have to trade him.
You have to.
Because then
you can't get nothing back.
you have to get what you can.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
You know?
and like
The way the
and then
market is right now?
there's teams that will pay him the 45.
That's what I'm saying. You'll
100%.
get what you get for him, and it's
Yeah.
gonna make our team better. So you might as well just do it, right? And it's sad to say because we're doing another Alex Caruso, and Austin Reeves became a better Alex Caruso than we would have thought.
Yeah.
But that's what you find when you find those diamonds in the roughs, and that's what a good teams do, right?
It does break my heart though watching half these guys in the league now and like, damn it, these guys were on our roster
I
at
know.
one point in time.
Like
Julius,
Josh Hart,
I'm like, what are we, a farm to just make people better and just
Jordan-
ship them out? What's going on?
And that's what I was talking about, 3-level
So
scorer, right?
bad,
I honestly think if we can get Jordan Clarkson back, we'd be a better team.
I texted you that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I texted, I feel like I would love Clarkson back in the
A
team.
3-level scorer where you put
No
him
pressure,
you
yeah.
put him in the game when Luka is sitting out,
Yeah.
and he gets to
on
handle
the
the ball,
bench, and he could score.
and he just
needs
handles the ball.
buckets.
It's his team. It's his team when he comes in the game. So you let Luka sit down, and you just give the ball to Jordan and just say, hey,
Well,
do what you gotta do.
Utah's in a rebuilding mode. They might want to.
Because I started thinking about it. It'd be like when Lou Williams with the Clippers.
That was another one we let go. Gosh.
That's what I'm saying,
Lou Williams,
right?
man, was nice, bro.
That's what I told you about Jalen Green,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Houston they have decisions to make.
Oh,
right
you
now.
think they're going to let him go?
Well, they have Thompson, right?
Fair.
So that team, they can't have Thompson and Green be the head of the table.
Well, it's because they're the same player.
Yeah, so they have to decide which player they want to pay.
Dang, and Thompson stepped up big.
Yeah.
That boy got it.
That's
He
what I'm saying.
He develops
It's
a
like
jumper, it's over.
They're the same. They're the same caliber player.
Yeah.
And I think
It's like
they have
Jalen
the
Green
same
was here.
ceiling.
They have Sengun also, right?
Yeah.
Sengun
Sengun's a
is
star.
Beast, bro.
Right.
Dude, they better
So-
not ever let him go.
So out of those three, Jalen Green is the odd man out, and I'm okay with that because he could be the odd man out for them.
I just feel bad because it's so easy to. On the flip side, right? Just playing devil's advocate, it's so easy to. He had a. Amen Thompson just jumped. It was like, this guy's a beast. Jalen kind of had one game, and then he's streaky. Do you give him some time to develop with the core and the team that you have? Because this team looks dangerous for years. Or you break it up now.
If Houston is smart, I would keep it together.
Yeah, I
if
would
they're
keep
smart.
it together.
Dude, why change it up?
But-
You're doing. I don't want to compare their team to OKC when they had Kevin Durant, all that
Yeah.
stuff. But you don't even know what the potential of this team is.
Exactly. And Ime knows that too.
But what they could do is they could offer Reeves to Houston,
Yeah.
right? You tell me Houston wouldn't take Reeves?
Okay, they'll take it. And who we getting?
Jalen Green.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
I think honestly, you tell me right now. I think Austin Reeves fits better with them.
In the
You know,
second team?
How
yeah.
about we get Jalen Green and we get Adams?
Oh, I'll take that.
You think they're giving that up? Both
If
of them?
if we do Reeves, then we give them like Rui or
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Vincent.
break up a couple more people.
Vincent,
For
we have,
sure.
we have so many fucking expiring contracts.
and maybe we give
Fair.
them a first round pick.
Yeah, we gotta give some picks, bro. Because Houston might.
You know?
I don't know if I want that.
But I would take that. Jalen Green, Adams.
Yeah, that's
we still
fair.
have Dalton
Look,
Connect.
That's a whole nother topic too. I could do a whole nother podcast on that. Like, how do you feel about that? Hey, we want you. We didn't want you, but we now.
No, it wasn't that we didn't want
Fair.
you.
No, I agree,
All right,
but
and that's the thing.
I know what you mean.
That's the thing in my head. I was like, bro, you need to just
It's not that we didn't want you.
hey,
It's
get
fair.
over it.
It's
Like-
fair. I agree. But professionally, as a young kid, like,
Yeah.
I know you didn't want me, but there was a possible option. You traded me.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the locker room, like, all right, guys, thank you so much, Ray, Vince. It was awesome. It was great.
That was a mistake.
Next week, I'm like, hey, yo, hey, we want you to play as best as you
Look,
can.
to
Me
me,
mentally, bro,
no,
I don't
okay,
know.
look.
I ain't.
If you were trading me, if I was playing for the Lakers, right? I was a rookie, and you're gonna trade me to, let's say, you're gonna trade me to Denver, right? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go Denver. They just won a championship,
Fair.
right? And then the trade gets denied,
Fair.
whatever. Oh, okay, I'll go back to Lakers, whatever.
But he's going to Charlotte.
My point, you're mad because you didn't get to go to Charlotte. Like, I get it. You
that's
want
fair.
the run.
He's in his feelings.
No,
He's in-
that's my point though.
As a
Like,
rookie,
get
yeah.
over it,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, that's fair. That's
Like,
fair.
you know,
he
like-
did have some games that he was playing a little bit better when he came, but I don't know why he didn't get played personally.
His skill set, though, man. He's got a good
6'7"
skill set.
He has a good skill set, but he can't play defense, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the.
Well, that's not
fucking-
what he's known
that's the-
for
That's
yet.
the main thing about the NBA today. His skill set would have been fucking bonkers in the 2000s, 2010s.
Yeah, we don't need you to do nothing. Just shoot.
Yeah, shoot.
Nah, you gotta lock
Defensively,
up now.
we don't really worry about it because if you go into the paint, you're gonna get killed by the fucking power forward and
Yeah.
the center.
You gotta get
Now everything is so spread out. You
Yeah.
have to play defense
Yeah.
at least a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to be serviceable at defense.
That's
like
fair.
you don't have to be fucking defensive player of the year.
No, that's fair.
You just have to make sure you can keep the guy in front of you. That's
Yeah.
all we can ask for.
That is fair.
Right? And if you can't do that, you can't be on the floor. Because
Yeah.
then you have fucking Jalen Green, you have fucking Amon Thompson. You know, it's not one guy that can do that.
Yeah.
It's like four guys that
Yeah.
could go to the
Yeah.
rim. You know?
The
But
basketball's
that's
deep.
why I
now.
would be happy with Jalen Green because he plays defense too.
Yeah.
Young guy,
Athletic. That,
three-level
and
scorer.
you'll have a lob threat.
Plus he's half Filipino.
Yeah.
Bro, Filipino night would be
Yeah,
a week.
sick. Yeah.
You know, and we bring Clarkson back.
Oh my god, oh, dude. Okay.
It'll be like the Dodgers. Get all the fucking international players.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Let's move on a little quick. I mean, really quick. All right. Let's see how old we are.
Jeez.
So there's this question I saw on TikTok, and it was basically a little, how think about the store you go to all the time, right? Grocery store, any kind of store, Walmart. If you go to Walmart, whatever. If you go there regularly, right, you know where everything's at, right? Especially, I'm not sure how you guys are, but me, I'm not the roamer, right? I don't go to a fucking grocery store and walk around and see, oh, do I need this? No. I'm the guy. I make a list, or if I know I'm going to get this, that's all I'm getting. I don't look anywhere. I just go straight to that because I know where it's at. I go straight to the aisle, get that shit, pay for it, and I'm gone.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you guys are. You guys the same?
I'm same. I just put it on the app and pick it up when I.
Oh, that too. That's easy too.
I was doing that. Yeah. Steph
Right?
does that for me.
So, to me, the question is basically, like, how mad do you get when you go to a store and then all of a sudden they switched everything? So, you go to the aisle, like, say you went to go get ketchup.
Yeah.
You go to the aisle and, like, the ketchup is, that's not even the condiment aisle anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
that's-
Target is notorious for that.
Yeah, all the time.
I'm like, what the heck did they do? I just need to pick up like some Tylenol.
Yeah, that's fair. They move.
Yeah, it's like all the other side, and then it's not like a simple move. It's not like okay, we move here.
All the way to
It's
the-
all the way
here.
across the
It's
damn
like
store.
on the opposite side of
Yeah,
the store.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, what the fuck were you guys thinking? What the hell?
Yeah, no, that's frustrating. We do the phone pickup thing. Steph will tell me, babe, pickups at 9 Walmart. Cool, it's parking spot.
Yeah.
Costco, I'm in trouble. We have a list, but it's like just get toilet paper and water, and I'm gone for 2 hours because I'm like just I'm looking everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just don't. Sometimes I don't even come home with the stuff that I'm asked.
No,
I
and
gotta
I
go
think
back.
Costco for me is the same thing. Costco and Sam's
dangerous,
Club,
bro.
like, I think those are the only stores I go and I'm like, hey, that looks cool.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
I never knew I needed this.
Yes, no, 100%. Hey guys, babe, I got this stuff. You're like, where's the water? I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and get it. But no, it's frustrating when you go to a spot because then it sets you up to roam. I'm also like,
I think they do that on purpose.
No, 100%.
100%.
It's
Yeah,
100%.
because it's more time for you to spend in store to possibly leave with whatever. I get it.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with Costco and
the
Sam's
marketing.
Club.
Yeah,
Especially
Well,
when
they know what they're
with
doing.
Target, especially when they started. I don't know how long ago they did it, but when they started having like the grocery aisle in there,
Oh,
now you're in
yeah.
there longer. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's like not at the entrance. Like you got to
You
go
have to
through
go
that.
all
You
the
got to
way
go
back.
all
Yeah.
the way. So I have all this stuff before you leave to pass by.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I thought that was funny.
No,
All right.
that's
Okay, we're gonna get into some light, serious stuff.
yeah.
All right. So the last time we were on the pod, we talked about the hardest thing about being a father. So the first question, and I'll start with PJ,
Mhm.
since you're newer here. Carrying burdens that you never speak of, so your children never have to. So
example.
just like growing up, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm not sure how your parents were. I know your mom and dad. I mean, they're very nice people. But I grew up with my grandparents and
Mhm.
Filipino came here from the PI. My grandpa had 6 kids already. They're all grown up, but he was a hard ass, So I grew up with, getting beat, fucking, strict.
Yeah.
Fucking obviously I took a lot of stuff that he taught me. And it made my life better, but all the other shit that happens in a third world country type of shit, that they brought over here, and it's like the burden of, I guess, I don't want to be that way with my kids. Obviously, right? You don't want to beat your kids, and you try to find alternate ways and of I'll say of disciplining and all that stuff like that. But what are, if you have any burdens that you took with you from growing up with your parents and the teachings they gave you that, that you'll probably never speak of to your child because you are going to change that in your parenting style?
Good question. Okay. Big one. It's the discipline part. And, our parents always tell us you won't understand until you're a parent, right? And I knew that. But my parents also grew up, they raised boys. We have a daughter. So it's a whole new ball game in regards to how do I raise her or with the same principles or similar principles my parents tried to instill in us, but it's something different than even my parents understood because she's the first girl that they're also getting to watch and raise. The disciplining part, I think, is the hardest for me. I was just talking to you off camera prior to this. I was telling Ray, like, it's a blessing having Zoe, and but the fear, I think that's the biggest thing. Now speaking out loud, is the fear of what the world is gonna bring to them as they grow up. Now having a daughter, the fear as a man, even now, it's lessening each day. And turning into confidence, but the fear I have of what is she going to face, how do I prepare her for that, I don't even know. And the daily struggles that I have, and I try to pick every girl dad's brain about what can I look forward to or what can I prepare her for with each day she grows up, is preparing her for a world that is not going to be and is not nice to her at all. And how do you develop a sense of principle and love and care, but with also the discipline of you got to stand firm and be strong to a certain extent. I think that's a shout out and a blessing to having Stephanie as my wife, is she's a strong person. She's grown up and seen stuff, and similar to your family with grandma and grandpa. And so I think that burden of how do I navigate being the father that she deserves, but also not be too soft with her. Because she's softened me up. I think as a father, I think if you get a girl, you're gonna be one of the opposite. You're gonna become like harder and more stern and more like you got to do it this way, or you're gonna become softer. I think a softer side of me is when I see her. But how do I I think that's a burden that's gonna be forever with her. And it's how do I navigate it and make her become a strong person, but also prepare her for the world that she's going to face, and yet protect her from that. So it's a balance. I don't know. That's my biggest thing.
So, like, something I'm learning, I'm a girl dad too, and my son actually called me out on it. Cause he's like, Dad, you don't treat Izzy the same way you treat me. Because I'm very hard with my son, very strict. I hold him to high standards. I always tell him life's not fair. Life's going to be hard on you. So I make it difficult for him to teach him how to go through adversity.
Fair.
And then he's like, Dad, you make life too easy for Izzy. And I'm like, this little kid's like blowing up my mind. Like,
too smart.
I'm like, and like I think we talked about this at the last podcast.
Who's your dad?
Because I asked Ray for advice, and I'm like, it's true. Like, am I sheltering my daughter so much because I want to protect her that I'm not giving her the armor to be able to take on the world?
That's the world.
Whereas, like my son, I'm making him go through struggles, so he can be stronger.
Yeah.
Whereas, like my daughter, I'm like carrying her too much. You know, but then it's like that came naturally to just I want to protect my daughter.
Yeah, fair.
Whereas my son was like, no, like you figure it out.
Yeah.
You know.
How are you navigating through that? Have you switched up a little bit in
I'm a little bit more tough
with her?
with her. Like I've never spanked my daughter.
No, I mean
I've never spanked my daughter. Very rarely do I yell at her or get mad at her.
Forgive me.
You know. But like I do treat my son way differently. Like I hold him to a much higher expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning to, you know, hold her because I need her to be strong for the world. I don't need her to be strong at home. You know, I can build her strength at home, build her confidence, but I need her to be able to face adversity.
Mm.
You know, instead of like helping her always.
Yeah, and that's hard.
Cause she'll go, Daddy, help me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I can't say no.
Yeah.
Dude. I can't,
I got you.
bro. I can't say no.
And then my son's like, hey, Dad, how come you won't help me? I'm like,
Dad, help me. You figure it out.
Yeah, I taught you last week. You know, you show your sister. Yeah. How do you navigate that?
Well, I mean, look,
Let me ask.
having a son, I'm the same, you know, way. I'm hard on my son, but I think on the last episode I also said I'm very the same with all my kids. I don't treat. You might say that I am a little. My tone is a little nicer with my daughters, than with my son. Like my son, it's like if you do something wrong or you say something out of pocket, you're getting the 100 switch because you are not disrespecting your dad. That type of shit. With my daughters, it's more like I try to make them understand like you need to be, you need to act a certain way, and then if you don't understand that, then
you get the
100,
yeah, that's
right?
fair.
So I give you the
Yeah.
out to be like, hey, you're doing this wrong. And I feel like to me in life, nobody feels bad for men.
No.
So I think that's why when we grow up or when we raise kids, or in my mindset, when I raised my son, I was thinking nobody's going to feel bad for you.
True.
Right? Nobody's going to look after you if I'm gone. Nobody's going to, help you do anything because they don't care about us.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Right? That's why you do that. That's why you build the armor. That's why you make them tough. That's why you try to get them to understand that you need to work hard. You need to earn everything you have because we're not made of money. We don't have those connections. We can't get you a job wherever you want like other people, right? They don't have that pathway. For women to me it's kind of different because yes, you can say we need to do that, but then again, if they find a man that can take care of them, that can do all that stuff, right? And they build a life with that man, they have somebody to help them do that. As a man,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a different path.
That's what I'm saying.
It is.
It's more like they're looking for somebody to build their life with, right?
Yeah.
They're not expected. A woman is not expected to be by themselves all through life.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a very good point.
The woman is there, or the ladies are being brought up to be like, hey, you need to find a partner in life.
Yeah.
Build that life.
Be a good partner.
And then go. A man could go through life by himself.
Yeah.
From as soon as he gets to adult to when he goes from this earth.
Yeah.
And nobody bats an eye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not expected to be like, well, yeah, I mean, you could say if in your family you're expected to have kids and all that stuff like that. But if you're not willing to do that, I mean,
yeah.
like I said, So I think there is a big difference in that. And I don't know if you guys share the same or you see the same thing I'm looking at. That's the way I look at things.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, that's how I'm raising my kids.
Yeah.
And I always, from day one, always try to implement the work ethic part.
Yeah.
Right. Let them know, like, you're not going to get things handed to you.
Yeah.
If somebody says no, okay, you say no here, then I'm going to work harder to get it over here.
Yeah.
That type of shit. Like, it's because the way I grew up, I worked for everything, even the stuff I have now. I mean, the life I built now. Yeah. I even look back and still think like, man, I could have done way more. Yeah. And I wish I would have done way more. Yeah. Right. But at this moment in time, I'm at a place where I built this.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And shout out to you for that, man. Like, shout out to you for that. Like, it could have. I don't know if you get this enough here on your podcast or even outside, but the life that you lived and the way you've worked for everything, I've always admired, and I just want to, being on this platform with you, want to say I'm proud of you for that. And I think us men should do that more often. I think it's sometimes looked at as you're being weak, like, it's not being soft. But I think just as to a certain mindset, us men aren't given the opportunity to express ourselves as often as or the society doesn't want us to or doesn't allow us to. I think that needs to start from us here, right? We haven't seen each other in a while, but it's like we're just picking up like it was yesterday. And you got to say the things that you say and observe the things you observe. And I just want to tell you that I'm proud of you, man. Like with the life that you built and the family that you're building, and you continue to work with no excuses, and you don't ever look for handouts. And that's one thing I try to take away from you.
I appreciate that.
So
I want to piggyback on that because I've known Ray straight out of high school. He's a young kid.
yeah,
I'm old. I'm a little older than Ray, and he's always I've always seen him like a little brother
yeah,
type. I'm usually the older guy in the room, and I remember like the first time I met Ray, I was building organized noise with Clint, and Clint's like, I have a cousin that could run with us. I'm like, all right, bring him on the squad.
yeah,
And I met Ray, but Ray's been he's had his struggles, he has up and downs, you know, and I've seen this guy, and I'm like, I don't know how he's gonna make it out. Like he very, very difficult, you know, and don't take this the wrong way. Like then I saw you as like someone younger than me, someone that needed help. That's how I kind of saw you then. And it does give me great pleasure, like, to see you now as my equal. Like, I can see you like, oh, this guy's built, he has a family, he has a respectable home. He's a good man. And it could have gone so many different ways.
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
So I give you your flowers, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, very, bro. Very.
And I'll say from me, having seen you work your ass off, I mean, I appreciate everything you did for me. I would say my life wasn't the easiest, but basketball and my friends.
I'm proud of you, bro. I am so proud of you. Like,
it was a simple life, but it meant a lot, man.
Yeah.
Like my life is so complicated now, right? Multifaceted.
Yeah, there you go. That's a word.
But back then, Sundays,
Simple, man.
simple.
Yeah.
We'd have our games. After our games, we go to it's a different restaurant now. But like you get our Filipino food, or we come back to the house, have a barbecue.
Yeah.
Very simple life, and but the brotherhood that was formed, it created like glues, and you got to see people like, oh, you know what? Like, there's no blueprint to success necessarily.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different path to success, but I think you were around a bunch of individuals, and you got to see like, oh, you know what? I can take a little bit from each person, and I can apply it to myself.
Yeah.
And then that's what you did, and you're here now.
Choices, right?
Good, you made good choices.
The one thing I've always seen about Ray, through that time, right? You see some of his little brother. I saw him as my own brother. Like, we hung out a lot before I met Stephanie. We hung out a lot, and it was through basketball. And you saw it. You saw life is going to be choices. But the one thing I've always admired about Ray is he always was fighting, I don't want to say survive. He was fighting to do the right thing. And each right choice he made him step forward to what he's becoming and still growing now. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see, and I am deeply appreciative, and I love it, bro, because he was a guy that he he still is, and he'll always have your back, and he'll give you props, but he'll never ask for credit.
Yeah.
He'll never say,
behind the
"What
scenes.
about me?" He'll always give, and he'll always say, but if lack of a better word, forgive me of your son here, but if the shit hit the fan, he was ready to put 10 toes down for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it was like, no, let's not go that way. But he, I guess us guys, we just don't give it enough. We see it, we feel it, but it's a beautiful thing having this platform to be able to open up, and then in the public eye to his audience, his team. They should hear it too. How well.
And this is not a paid promotion, guys.
Not at all. Bro. Not at all.
I didn't tell them to do this.
Not at all.
There was one time though. We used to go to this club at West Covina called Spice.
That's not the one off Bronca, is it?
Yeah.
I think I went there once or twice with y'all.
Well, we were there weekly.
Yeah.
We were like regulars. Like we knew the owners, we knew the security guard.
Everybody thought we were rich because we just drove up to the front. There's a line and we just walked straight into the club.
But like I remember one time, like we went there, and Ray met this girl, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And then the next few days, like he's like, Vince, I really like this girl I met from Spice. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's not really the kind of girl, like come on, you know PJ, like, and I'm like, okay, Ray, you're young.
I think he and I beg to differ now.
It's like you gotta, it is what it is. And
Yeah.
years later, married.
That's
her.
what I'm saying.
He got kids with her.
That's what I'm saying.
So that was. I'm not wrong a lot of times, but that was one time where I was like, I didn't see that coming.
That's fair. I not to make it about me, but I used to think that too. I still kind of think that now. With Zoe
you don't meet a girl at Club Spice in West Covina.
But man, my wife was our designated driver.
Yeah.
The first time I ever went to a club/bar at Florentine's, and I was at 22 years old. Not a lot of people are going to know that, but you know what? It's out there. I'm open about my story. Like, I had just celebrated my 22nd birthday with my parents and my brother at Goofy's Kitchen.
Oh, I love that.
My mom's like, oh, I have a half off thing. Let's go. I was the only 22-year-old in there. There was like 2-year-olds over there. I was the only one getting a drink.
You were 2?
No. Well,
what the another 2? 2.
There was 2-year-old kids there. And then Mark hit me up, your cousin, and was like, hey, I remember I said I was going to take you out for your birthday. You want to go to the bar tonight? I was like, hey, Mom, can I go out tonight? I'm 22. And she was the designated driver. No one knew that was coming. I think her and I didn't even know it was coming. And a couple months later, people are like,
yeah,
you're with Steph? Steph's with you?
Yeah. No, it's
really?
It's not even the Steph with you thing. I was like, oh, hey, my friend and my cousin. Cool.
I think Ray was the only one that was like that, though. Everyone else that we were hanging out were like, I used to take her out on, like, allowance, bro.
Yeah.
And shout out to my wife. Like, you know what? For sticking by me and seeing for our wives, seeing the greatness in us that at times we may not have seen in ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah.
Oh, shout out to the wives.
Stephanie, me and her graduated high school together.
All right, let's not.
It's going to go that far.
Yeah, there's a couple stories out there, but I'm not going to name the names out there, Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to our wives, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the kids.
Yeah, thank you for not letting me go with you to your cousin's debut practice.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because was for Stacy's. Because if I did, I don't think me and Steph would be at this point.
Yeah.
That's another time.
Yeah, another story for another time.
Yeah, another podcast. Sorry, guys.
No, but I really appreciate you guys. I mean, like I said, I've been through a lot, bro. And I think back to even the days when I first met you guys and I was living with Chris. I didn't have much. I'd ask Vince to pick me up. Vince sometimes could pick me up. Sometimes I'd walk to his house from Chris's house, which was like 10 minutes away, But the one thing I did, I think that built for me, I'm the type of person, like, if I hang out with you, there's a reason why I'm hanging around with you, right? I'm not, like, if you're the type of person that I don't like, or I know, like, we're not going to get along, or I don't like the way you move, I'm not hanging out with you. And so if I'm hanging out with you and something pops off, I'm in the front, right? And me and Vince, I mean, being with Vince for so long, there's a lot of instances where we were going to get in a fight. And there was one time where Vince was going to get in a fight, and I wasn't going to let Vince do anything. I was gonna beat the guy up.
Yeah.
Cause I feel like, to me, I owe him a lot. I owe him, especially him and Mark. They took me under their wing, and I grew up into being, this man that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Without these guys, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, bro. Hey, it's okay, man. Let it out, bro. That's a beautiful thing about it.
And
Right?
and I have to thank my cousin Clint too, because Clint is the one, that introduced me to them. Because that, I think at that time I had just left Mark and Brian's house.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to them. I mean, Mark and Brian did what they can.
Yeah.
For a kid that, if I didn't, fuck, dude.
You good, bro?
It's okay.
Okay. For a kid that I don't know where my life would have been. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because just thinking about like where my life would have been, where my mom went, where my dad went, like,
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's just amazing.
It's a blessing for sure.
And I don't like taking credit. I don't I don't ever ask for handouts.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to earn everything. So, but again, like I said, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everyone that had a imprint on my life. I know I'm being emotional right now, but
That's okay. And you've opened up that platform for that. It's a beautiful thing, man.
But like to piggyback off of that, you went through struggles, and now kind of take it a different way as a parent. I didn't realize this until I became a parent myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I was poor.
That's a
Right? Think about that.
yeah.
I grew up in the Philippines until I was 7 years old. And I didn't know what poor feels. To this day, I don't know what poor feels like.
Yeah.
Right? But talking to my dad, like, I thought eating white rice with soy sauce is a good meal.
yeah,
It's not.
But to me, that's a good meal.
Yeah.
But that's a poor man's meal.
I know what you mean.
You know?
I know what you mean.
And we left the Philippines because financially my parents, they were struggling. They had very little opportunity. Even though my mom was a nurse, very little opportunity there. But they sheltered me in a way that I didn't feel
They're
poor.
Yeah.
So they struggled, so I didn't have to. Right? So kind of your struggles, you didn't have someone to kind of shelter you. But you still rose above.
Yeah.
But now as a parent myself, and I'm sure you guys see it the same, I don't want my children to kind of feel that.
Yeah.
Right? But as parents, we all have struggles.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We have daily struggles. Like, I have daily struggles financially, trying to make ends meet. Dealing with, personally, with school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in school. Maintaining my marriage. Sometimes as fathers, we put that in the back seat. But
yeah,
I'm starting to learn that needs to be in the front. That my kids need to see that I put my wife
amen
in a pedestal, right? But sometimes as fathers, it's like we put the kids first, but that shouldn't be the way.
Yeah.
But now it's like I see I see what my parents did, and I'm not saying like first world problems. Like, I'm not really struggling,
yeah.
but like with my kids, like they feel like they don't feel any of the pressure.
Yeah.
Like
Same.
I was joking around, like they think going to Disneyland is just like a thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like it's our fault because we decided to get passes, but it's like they think like it's just
Yeah.
But again, does this weaken them? Does this strengthen them?
Yeah, that's a question we have every day, right?
It's like
wait, it's this it's a circle that they tell you. I think it's somewhere, I forgot where I seen it, but they're like, your parents struggle so you wouldn't struggle.
Yeah.
Right? and then you don't see the struggle, so you don't understand. So you teach your kids not understanding the struggle,
Mm-hmm.
and then so that like that generation goes down the
Yeah.
line, and then at a certain time in that moment, their kids maybe
Yeah.
two or three generations
Yeah.
down are gonna struggle again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a line, right?
Yeah.
So you just want to make sure. I guess I'm same with you. I don't like putting. I don't like showing anything to my kids. My kids will never understand what struggle is.
Yeah.
What poor is like.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up with my grandparents, same thing. Like, so I used to dumpster dive with my grandpa. Like, they would never understand stuff like that, right? And I never would want them to,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at the same time, I do want them to take the value of understanding what things are worth.
That's the hard part, though.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Like,
point
how do
on
you
that.
teach them the value of worth? Because I'm not gonna lie, I spoil my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the period of time, the last couple of years, me and my wife were going through nursing school together
Yeah.
and working. We didn't want the kids to suffer.
Yeah.
So they live their life like, they're still doing their sports, they're doing their cheerleading, they're still doing the vacations. They didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
We had to take that burden,
Mhm.
right? But like, how do we teach our kids to value what they have?
Mm.
Like I was telling my son the other day, like, dude, you play sports, he goes to like this training spot in Rancho, D1 training.
Okay.
He has like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
10 years old. How would you be if you had at 10 years old, you had a personal trainer
I'll tell you right
working
now.
with
Yeah.
you?
Bruh. if the way I was
Shoot,
when you met me,
Yeah.
if I had a trainer at 10, you know where I would be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Fucking A.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, I tell my son, like, I'm going to make it so that you have no excuses.
Yeah.
Mm.
All I need from you is I need you to give me effort and show me you want it.
Yeah.
You put in the work.
Yeah.
But as far as resources, you can have every single resource you want.
Yeah.
He told me recently he wants to learn to pitch. I'm like, okay, I'll hire you a pitching coach.
Yeah.
But this is my burden to provide, right?
Yeah.
As a father, I'm gonna give you everything.
Yeah. I'll give you all the resources.
I'll-
What are you gonna do with it?
I'll figure out how to do it. I'll figure out the money part.
Yeah.
That's my struggle. I gotta figure out. That's, I don't put that on him.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, how do I teach him to value that?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm giving it, he's putting in the work. He's doing the work, but like, does he see like not? This is not something that every person has.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because he's just sitting in the room, but I think you're correct. I think conversations, I think talking,
Yeah.
like real. Not I'm saying serious talks, but I think him understanding needs to happen with talking. Obviously, you explaining to him like, look, man, like I love you. I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah.
Not every kid gets to have these privileges. That you're having.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, all we want is for them to be successful at whatever they're gonna do.
They
right?
choose. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what he
What it
chooses,
is.
either whether it's sports, whether it's acting, whether it's nursing, whether it's doctor, whatever he chooses. Like, to me, I think getting that point across, like, whatever we're giving you to do, or we're giving you to help you, it doesn't matter. What matters is at the end of the line that you choose something to be successful at, right? We're not doing all this so that at the end of the day you're just at home.
Yeah.
He's 25 years old, just like chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, dog. Like, that's not what we did this for, right?
Yeah,
like, it's I need to see this, and maybe it's the taking them to homeless shelters to feed the homeless.
Yeah.
Because we were doing that a lot too, where we were making Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Right, we'll make like 12 to 15 plates, and we would go around here, and we'll take the kids with us, and give the plates out to the homeless, and be like, look, like, you guys don't see this.
Yeah.
You guys go to school, we come home, we go, to Knott's Berry Farm, we go to this and that, we do all this shit, but look at these people that are here that don't get that privilege.
Yeah.
They don't even have a house.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
a good way to do it.
And it's
Have you
like,
taken your daughter to the Philippines?
I have, but I think she won't remember that. That was more for
For you?
yeah, for
our
their benefit.
benefit.
But
Yeah.
once you get a little older,
Yeah.
like
Oh no, we're gonna take her back, 100%.
Yeah.
I think, man,
it's a different.
Zoe
it's
got more
good for
stamps
them
on
to
her
see.
passport than we do at this point.
It's good for them to see. Like
I agree.
I think my son, my daughter, they're he went when he was 2, so he
Yeah.
doesn't really know. But I think at his age now, if he goes home, he sees his cousins there.
Yeah.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
I
I think we have to include that part of it still, right?
Absolutely.
Like we don't want to. I'm a guy that the ideas pop up as we say it out loud and we're talking about it. Now these thoughts are coming to my head to answer the question of like, how do we protect them from that? Why we want to protect them from that, but we also don't want to shelter our children from the experiences that our parents or the generations before us had. We want to show them not in a condescending way of like, look what they like,
or a negative way.
Yeah, in a negative way. But however, here's where your family came from. Let's go share some things with people on Thanksgiving, or let's just go give back, knowing that I think those experiences will also help shape them in regards to I have what I have. Like, how come? Then the curious question starts to become of, Dad, how come they don't have that? There's where the opening of the conversation starts to become. And it's not a forceful way, in a way, but it's more of like, okay, well, let's have this conversation. Here's what we have. This is what we do. This is where
very
your family
organic.
came from. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think the generation before us, and I love my parents, and thank you for them. They've always been there, right? There were times, and I think it's also out of fear or insecurity as a man, because I want to say I could admit to that of how I sometimes like discipline Zoe. It's sometimes out of I don't want you to become this. You don't want to make them feel bad for the good things they have. Well, I gave you this. I work for that. Well, you know what? I could just take it away. Like, you don't even know. Like, it becomes like, well, I didn't know what's going on in the world. How am I supposed to know? Right? We don't want them to question that. But I also, to the point with 2 points with your son, I think with competition, he's going to see that. He's going to go out there and he becomes the best he can be at pitching. And then he starts to notice how, like, Dad, how come I don't have that? Or some of his teammates might be like, your dad takes you have a personal coach? Like, must be nice if I had that. Right? And it's like, then the questions and curiosity start to come and like, oh, okay, then it becomes a border of appreciation, or he becomes, what's the lack of a better word for entitled? Well, yeah, I do.
That's why.
Right.
That's why I'm
that's
trying
the
to
balance that
avoid
we
it.
have.
But the thing though too is like I think you are the great example of hard work, right? You and Janet, and shout out to Janet as well. Like, you guys do the best you can with what you have. You guys both worked hard, went to school when you guys probably could have just said, this is too much for us. Like, we can't do all this at one time. But you guys made it work. Like, you guys went to school. Both went to school. Yeah. You guys are still going to school and working, and also doing the kid life with having them being able to. Because you guys could have said, "Hey, we're busy with school and work."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you guys are gonna have to take a back seat right now. Let us finish what we do, and then we'll. You guys are still doing all the basic stuff of life with your kids, and still upgrading your life. That in a hard way, right?
Yeah. But there was a point I'm like, man, like, life is expensive. We like to travel,
especially here,
California. We like to travel. We like to have nice things. Our kids, they do the sports, the cheerleading, and that's not cheap.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like my son, it's all year.
Yeah.
Between football and baseball, it's like there's no break.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I have to level up.
Yeah.
As a man, like, I have to level up, and the only way I have to level up is I have to go back to school. I have to get these degrees, level up my career, so that I could be able to provide.
Yeah.
So that they don't. Again, it goes back to the thing. Like, I don't want them to feel the burden.
Yeah.
I want to give them the blessing without having to feel the burden.
That is fair.
But the balance again.
Yeah.
How do I keep them humble? How do I keep them from being entitled?
Last touch point. the second point I wanted, well, it's piggybacking on that, is you made a good point that I don't think us men talk about enough, is putting our marriage first. I think that's one of the biggest struggles that I think I probably have the youngest child here, that Stephanie and I fight with personally and together, is how do we put Zoe as a priority, but the marriage is first, right? It says in the Bible, we raise our kids to leave us. That sounds scary, but we raise them not to stay with us. You don't want, you're not trying to be here at 25. Like, you know what I mean? You got to provide for your own family. At the end, when we are empty nesters, it's me and you.
Yep.
And I saw this quote, I think earlier today. I would rather have my child come up to me one day and say, Mom and Dad, stop kissing and stop doing all that, than Mom and Dad, stop fighting.
Yeah.
And I think if we, and I think you're also, I believe you're also a great example of that, like Ray touched on, as well as Ray. You put that first, and you work together to be able to provide that example for them, even though the struggles and the questions that you have as a father are always going to be that. They'll see, and that, God willing, they see that blessing Mom and Dad. They didn't let me know how hard life was, even though I saw and I could see it, but they didn't let me know, and I love them for that, and I want to be that.
Yeah. And I think right now, I'm not sure if he even understands, but
yeah,
I mean, I think you just need to have a conversation to the point where when he does kind of understand what's going on, because right now he's a kid, right? He just knows, like, I need to go to baseball, I need to go to football, I need to go to school, and all that stuff. But when he starts getting in his teens, you know, at that moment in time, it's those conversations of like, hey man, like, you know, so I just want to let you know, like, I love you.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna need help on that.
I did all this stuff for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make sure you understand, like, the hard work that you have done, I've also have done to help you get to this point. And, you know, I'm not saying that I had to do it, but I did it out of love.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah. Fair.
And so that you understand, like, you know, this wasn't just something that fell into my lap and I had all the money and I just, you know, I just, you know, gave, you know, I was able to just give you the life you have. I had to work to get to this point. And even in between of doing stuff with you, your baseball, football, like, I was working, schooling, doing all that stuff, and your mom was doing this and all that. I was like, we just want to make sure that you appreciate the life that you have, you know, because it could be totally different, you know, and at one step or another. And, you know, just, I think blessings, I know you're a religious guy, and I'm not really that religious as I would want, I guess, as I am, but I do love giving thanks and giving appreciation to waking up, all the stuff we have, and I make sure my kids know that every day, like. And to your point about, like, you know, you don't want to be like, oh well, you know, I gave you that. I let my kids know, like, I don't want them to I want them to understand. Nobody's just giving stuff to you.
Fair,
right? I'm not just fucking, hey, here's this, here's that, here. You got to understand, I work a 40-hour week, 60-hour week, 75-hour week, so that we have this, we get to go out to eat.
I know what you mean.
Your mom has a reliable car to take you with air conditioning. Buy that. Right? I was like, bro, we had cars that didn't have fucking air conditioning back in the day.
Yeah, scroll down.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, your mom has a reliable, you know, newer car to take you to school every day. Your mom gets to stay home to pick you up and be with you every day. Like, not everyone gets to do that. You know, I make sure they understand that stuff, because to me, I don't want to be the where I don't tell them that. And they just think they go into this, they get this impression like, oh, I just do, you know,
this is normal.
You know, that type of stuff, because I see kids like that, bro.
Well, we grew up with them too.
Yeah. You know, I see kids like that who walk around here like their shit don't stink, and their parents can get them out of everything. And I don't want my kids to be like 100%. That. You know,
now, curveball. I don't have a son. How do you have that conversation with your daughters? That's the struggle and fear I have. It's years down the line. I have time, right, so to speak. But that conversation we're having, was given to us as men, as
Mhm.
boys, right? Your sons are giving that conversation to. The curveball I have is, how do I do that with Zoe?
Well,
Right?
and I'll tell you this right now.
Right.
It's not different.
Cool. That's good to know.
It's honestly it's not different, bro.
That's good.
Like I have conversations with my daughters all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just letting them know, like, hey, like, I want you to sit here and kind of look around you,
Yeah.
notice stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to notice what you have. I
Yeah.
want you to notice the blessing that you are able to do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or the blessing of us giving to you. That's why every time I'm very adamant at, like, if somebody gives you something, you say thank you,
Agree.
no matter what,
Agree.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
The blessing of getting something from somebody, that somebody had the intention
Mm.
of giving you a gift, because not everyone gets those gifts.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets gifts like that.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the same conversation you have with, whether it's obviously the discipline part obviously is different, right? But a normal conversation
Mhm.
about what blessings they have and
Yeah.
how you want to let them know, like, hey, this is what, you're getting,
Yeah.
aside from what you could not be getting.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
No, it's good to know.
It's not different, but like I said, it's just a moment of the age they're at to
Yeah.
understand what you're saying,
There.
right? Because if you talk to him right now,
He
Yeah,
gets it a little
understand.
bit more.
yeah,
Yeah.
like if you
Yeah,
would have talked
versus
if you would talk to him 2 years ago, he'd probably be like, "What the fuck are you
Yeah.
talking about? Who cares?"
Yeah.
And
Like,
What you mean?
that's one thing where he'll be like, Dad, how come you don't tell Izzy the same things? I'm like, well, she's 6.
Yeah.
She doesn't, like, she her development level is not the same, you
Mhm.
know? So you gotta just take it step by step. But, it's hard, man.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Raising a son, to me, it's much easier. Because I'm a
You're a man.
man. So I just kind of like, okay, I have my grandfather, I have my father,
Yeah.
I have myself
Yeah.
as like a blueprint.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 100%.
If I keep him somewhat within this line,
Yeah.
he's gonna be okay.
He has a chance to. Yeah. I agree. I know what you
you
mean.
know.
Yeah.
But with my daughter, it's like I don't have.
Yeah.
I don't know like.
Because you didn't grow up with a sister.
No.
So it's like you don't understand how living
Exactly.
with a woman or a girl is,
Yeah.
right? So
But that's where I kind of I'm blessed that I have a strong supportive wife. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned for yourself. I know she'll show her the way,
Yeah.
and I know she has aunts
Yeah.
also that
100%.
will kind of help show her the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I'm fully.
As I
relying
find
on.
my way
Yeah.
to being a girl dad.
because
you know?
I'm still learning too on how to treat a daughter, and I'm again, I am blessed with my wife and her sisters and the other villages that we have that have
Mhm.
strong women that there's a sense of peace knowing that, like, what I may fail to teach her or help her understand, there's a village of women who love my daughter like their own
Mhm.
and will help mold her into what not to be either.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so
It's
that's good
it's
to know.
good. And then it's the same thing, like
good to know.
what we talked about earlier. It's just the examples. If
Yeah.
you put great examples in front of her, she shouldn't have an issue
Yeah, that's
landing in a spot where you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
It's
Thank
the
you for
ones. It's the ones that you don't. It's the parents that just don't care, are the ones that the girls are that grow up to be wild and. And I'm not saying even if you were to do that stuff, she won't become that, because you have the
Yeah.
outliers and stuff
We
like that.
just hope
But
and pray.
all you can do, and that's why I told my wife, like, yeah, she's nervous as well for my daughter to become to go into high school. And I was like, look, we did all we can, right?
Mhm.
We implemented a lot of stuff. We raised her the best we can. And yes, we failed, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna fail a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the coming back and reassuring that stuff, kind of not quitting,
Yeah.
and you do all this stuff to raise them,
Mhm.
and you have to let them learn.
Yeah. That's
You know,
I
and
think that's my scary part.
And I think the one big point though I'll hit on is the decision making.
Mm.
Decision making has to be a very important part of teaching, because they have, like, I remember back when I was in high school or in middle school, going into high school and being around my friends and all that stuff like that. Peer pressure is a bitch.
Yeah. It's
Hey, peer pressure is a bitch, bro. And
Yeah.
if you can't, one thing as advice for you is, drill down decision making, like making good decisions.
Yeah.
And being confident of those decisions.
Yeah,
Because
good to know.
If they can't make a decision and be confident with it, they're just gonna be followers.
Yeah, and that's what we don't want.
And that's what you don't
I
want.
truly trust and believe that she won't be like that.
Well, Stephanie, hey, look,
hey,
if she's anything like Stephanie, bro,
yeah,
shout out to my cousin.
Yeah,
she'll be fine.
I love her.
She'll
Thank
be
you
fine.
so much, baby. I'm just saying, she molded me into a man.
She'll be fine. But yeah, man. All right, let's move on. Let's get into a little heavier, some heavier questions.
Heavier? I thought those were pretty heavier.
Well, we got.
I'm ready, brother. Yeah, you ease me right into it now. We're ready.
All right. Let's see. It's a little softball. What did becoming a father change about you?
The soft part,
Mr. New Dad.
The soft part. To a certain extent, I have. I'm a short fuse sometimes. I was just like weird. I was just having this conversation with Ray off camera. I if God gave me a choice when we were going through our struggles having a child, again not sure if I should have probably touched base with my wife about opening up about it, but I'm sure she'll understand. Zoe is truly a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
She's number 9. And, the other 8 are with God right now. And we struggled for a long time to try to have children. And each of those times was a question of, like, my manhood and if I deserved it. Same thing with her. And God was always giving... It was like, it turned to the point where I would ask God, like, if you gave me a choice, I'd love to have a boy. And then it turned into whatever you want to bless me with. And as long as he or she is healthy and we're good, then so be it. And Zoe came. And when they tell you that there's a love that you have for your daughter that cannot be explained, I can't even put into words. Like there's a love you have for your wife. And I'm not going to compare it to, they're two totally different things. But there's this thing that just happened unknowingly that like I am going to do everything in my power to protect you and to provide for you and to love you. And like the biggest quote for me that I learned was, because my biggest fear is like, I was telling Ray, off clock, man, like, how us guys think when we get to these ages, and I'm like, oh, bro, I don't want to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, I'm telling you right now,
right?
If that happens,
bro, I was, and then I
look.
But then I looked across this room, and I looked at my wife, and I was like, no, we're gonna be okay. Yeah, because I know the life that she's lived and the discipline that she would love to instill in our daughter, and I just wanted to answer that question that I had for myself was someone once told me that you will be her reason of the type of person she chooses later in life, good or bad. Yep. Whatever she chooses, if you don't like it, that's your fault. Because you were the first example. Now, what type of man are you going to be for her? Mm-hmm. And how are you going to show that? By loving her mom, by working hard, by loving her softly but sternly. Mm-hmm. That I would do anything and everything. And I think I'm doing that now in regards to just life and balance and work and doing things that I never thought I'd do. Because I'm like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do all that. Like, a small thing from now is working night shift. I'm like, my dad did it, and now I understand why my dad did it. And I was just telling you guys off camera too that I did that not just for a better blessing in regards to financial, but I can't get back time with my daughter and my wife. Mm-hmm. Like, I would rather struggle at night while she's asleep, and she sees me every day, no matter how tired I am or falling asleep in front of her, that dad's there, and I don't want to ever. I will minimize, because I'm sure it'll come, that I want to minimize the amount of time she tells me, why weren't you there? Where she now hates, like, even now, like, so Stephanie shows me videos of, like, she's, like, bawling and crying. I'm crying at work. She's like, why are you crying? She's like, my daughter's like, I don't like Papa at work. I don't like it. I miss him. I want him. And I'm like, go to sleep. I'll be there when you wake up. It's like, I don't want to go to sleep. I want him home. So that softness that I wasn't prepared for is what I am learning to embrace. But I try to pick people's brains like yours who
Yeah.
have had children before me and kind of like, hey, leave me breadcrumbs and I'll follow it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, man, but it's a beautiful blessing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I always tell people, like, being a father is the hardest experience I've ever had to do in my life. Being a father is the hardest, but at the same time, it's also the greatest joy. And I can't even explain the kind of joy. You know, like, I come home, and the garage door opens up, and my kids run out of the house.
Yeah.
To greet me.
And it makes it all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like that's
And no matter how many times it happens, it's a better feeling every time.
And you try to hold on to it for as long as I can, as long as you could, dude.
Recently, I took Izzy to I chaperoned her school field trip. You know? Bunch of first graders in a school bus going to LA Zoo.
Crazy.
Man, in my head, I'm like, man, why did I sign up for this? You know, it's like hot. And the kids are annoying, but the look on my daughter's face when she said, "Oh, this is my daddy," how proud she was.
Yeah.
It was like, that's his wife.
Yeah, heartbreaking in a good way, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I agree. There's days I cry. I actually cry probably every day, whether my wife knows it or not, or Zoe. There's days I walk in and they're just watching both sleeping, and what a blessing it is to be a father, right? And and that's why I think sometimes it makes me mad when, God forgive me, that I judge people who are like, oh, I'm a dad, or I'm not there, not to touch down on their experience, of like who aren't there by choice. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like
it used to make me so mad, but then in that moment, those moments, I just hug my wife and I hug my daughter even more and know that that's never gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry to cut you off, but the reason why that really hit me because with all my kids, I go through that as they grow.
Yeah.
I have moments in life where I'm just like, how did he just not want to be there?
Yeah.
Right? Like how like how do you live with yourself?
Yeah.
Like knowing that you have a seed somewhere in life that you are just missing things for.
Yeah.
Right? Like I couldn't live with myself.
Yeah.
And like every time something happens with my kids, they graduate. Like my daughter Maya and my goddaughter and another niece, they all did their communion last week. And it's like a moment in life where I'm going to remember forever. And it's like stuff like this, she's growing. Yeah. And I'm here for that. It's like, bro, like where were you?
Yeah, that's
like, and I remember all the stuff in my life. Me growing up, it was like I had my grandmother.
Yeah.
It's like, where were you, bro?
Yeah.
Like you were never like I had my auntie there.
Yeah.
My auntie Chris, Uncle Bobby. It's like, how did you sleep well at night knowing that you fucking missed all those stuff? And I get it. There's you go through some shit and you can't do this, you can't. But to me, it's like, bro, like the price you have to pay is just be there.
Yeah.
Like there's literally nothing else you have to do. Is the price you pay is just being present.
Is time.
Right?
Yeah, and
it's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
And so sorry to cut you off, but
no, not at all.
That was one of those
great question. Forgive me for opening floodgates. These questions, man.
What's the biggest challenge as a father you've faced since you've been becoming a new father, and how did you overcome it?
Almost circling around what we just talked about, right? My biggest struggle, I don't know if I don't know if Tiffany knows this or not. I don't verbalize a lot. I just realized that I don't verbalize a lot. Is making sure that I am an example of what a man should be for Zoe by loving Stephanie as best as I possibly can. Even it's our schedules are different, right? Where we have a blessing of her working from home, so she's there and she's always home with Zoe and whatnot. And there's this days where I think I need to make more of an effort of being intentional with Stephanie, because it's so easy to just focus on Zoe. Like, let's take Zoe out, let's go do this with Zoe, and then you're like, dang, when's the last time we went on a date?
Yeah.
And then when you go on that date and you're like, how long are we going to be out because we miss our daughter, which is a beautiful thing. However, I think the biggest struggle for me is making more of an effort and being intentional in loving my wife. So in turn, as a supplement to that, Zoe will understand. Not to love her to show Zoe, but love her intentionally. And in turn, Zoe will see how well her mom is loved. And I think that finding that as beautiful and as much as we've wanted a child for so long, and the struggles that Stephanie has gone through physically, mentally, I give her all the credit in the world, because we wouldn't be together, I don't think. I don't know. And she could have easily left and quit on us for whatever reason, and not to knock on her just because of the struggles that we've had. I think that's my biggest burden, though, is being more intentional with Stephanie and getting her things and taking her out and providing. She'll never ask for it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think our wives are like that. She'll never ask for it, but she'll be appreciative to do it. But I know that inside she desires that. Like, and finding that balance of loving my wife and loving Zoe at the same time with our daily struggles is my biggest burden so far.
Yeah. You guys should, it's not, I don't say it's feeling bad, but like me and Britt, we are the same way. Like, with Britt's schedule, and she is a stay-at-home mom, but she takes care of the house.
That's
she
a
watches,
job in and of itself.
She watches her sister's kids. She picks them up from school. She watches now her nephew's kid, because he doesn't have a significant other. So she's been tasked with taking care of a 1-year-old. Yeah. So she does all the stuff for our kids, her sister's kids, and the nephew every day. Yeah. Right. So me and her schedules don't kind of line up. I work second shift, so I get to be here in the morning until early afternoon with her. So a lot of those times are kind of busy, and we kind of don't align a little bit, you know. But I do get your struggle, because it's hard to realize how fast time is moving. And at a blink of an eye, you go a month and you guys haven't done anything. Yeah. Right? And so we go on dates, and an hour into the date, we'll get done eating, and we're like, we miss our kids. Yeah. You know, and it's great, because it's like, man, like, we love our kids, bro. Like, you know, we love being around them, you know, all that stuff like that. And it's even if we're in the house and we're all in different rooms, like, it's just knowing they're home. Yeah. Right. Because in a moment in time, we're going to be alone. Yep. And it's going to be empty. Yeah. It's going to be just you and her. And so I think I'm in a place right now where, like, I'm trying to cherish every little kind of moment I can get with them, because I know, like, my son, he's graduating high school next year. You know, so he's gonna be doing his own thing wherever. If he's gonna go out of state, if he's gonna go to college, and a couple years from then, he might be gone. Yeah. Right. My daughter is going into high school next year, so she has 4 years before she goes to college. You know, so it's like, in a moment in time, I'm gonna have one kid at a time leaving, and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be hard, but you know, it's a pleasure and a blessing to have, getting to see your kids grow, and then also the relationship you grow with your wife. And you are correct. You have to be intentional in every way, because you don't want to get to the point where you get to the end and you guys don't know each other. Yeah,
you don't want to be roommates.
Yeah, hell no. No, we don't.
But, like, you know, I don't think as men we intentionally do that.
No, I agree.
You know, I think organically, you being a father, something changes in your mind, right? And it's not even, like, at least for me, it's not about myself. It's there was a point where it's like it's about my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a few podcasts ago, I talked to Ray about this. Like when I was going to school and changing careers, I am guilty of putting my wife on the side.
Yeah.
Right.
I am guilty as well.
My priorities were like, okay, I have my kids, I have my work, I have my school.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for myself,
Yeah.
much less
Yeah.
time to think about what my wife's needs are.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes my wife will they'll give you like little subtle hints, you know, but they'll tell you what they need.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dating them, you're giving them what they need
Yeah.
constantly because it was just you and her.
Yeah.
But when you have life start coming at you, it gets really difficult. I don't think as men, I don't think we do it intentionally.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
You know, but that's where I think like a lot of marriages fail.
Mm.
You know, and I'll be damned if my marriage fails.
Hell no.
Because
Yeah.
my
Mhm.
kids, I need to be able, again, go back to them, show them example. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to show them that mom and dad never fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with them seeing us struggle.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I also need them to see, oh, mom and dad, they
Meet up.
made up.
Yeah.
They overcame struggle.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give up on each other.
Yeah.
Because my wife could have easily, like, during this period where we were both in school, she could have given up.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was a very difficult time.
Yeah.
You know, where we didn't see each other.
Yeah.
We had very little communication, and we felt like we were just passing by.
Yeah.
And this went for about 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a miracle that we made it out of there, and
Yeah.
we're here now. You know,
Yeah.
but I think what held us together was we had the same goals. We wanted the same things, and when I met my wife and when I chose my wife, I wanted a wife that I knew that, okay, she's going to be in the finish line with me.
Yeah.
You know, the struggles are going to be the struggles, but I know this, Janet is down, man.
Yeah.
You know, you've known Janet a long time. Janet, she holds me down. She's loyal to the bone. I can rely on her. I trust her with all my heart. And even though we have these struggles and things may not be how you like it, at the end of the day, we both want the same things.
Yeah.
But that doesn't accuse me from my responsibility as being a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
You know,
Agree.
but it's hard. Like you know, having someone watch your kids. Sometimes you don't trust everybody. You know, so like
That's why I have my wife at home, bro.
Yeah.
you know, me and Janet, our schedules are flipped.
Yeah.
So there's always one of us at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, very rarely are both of us home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But and you have Lolo and Lola, but
Yeah.
you can't rely on that all the
Yeah.
time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Shout out to the village, man, who
Yes,
is out
absolutely.
there helping support our families too. Because I will be damned if I also did not give credit to the family members, especially my wife's sisters, Leslie and Stacy.
Shout out to them, by the way.
Shout out to them, loving Zoe like their own. And we're coming to the point now where the window is we can leave her.
Yeah.
We don't have to, and now we're getting there, and it's a little slower than I would like. I would want to become more intentional more often, where we can go out on dates and spend 3-4 hours out, and it's just us, and we, thank God, we still love each other when we do that. Because my biggest fear is I don't want to get to that point where we go out and you're like,
Who are you?
Yeah.
hi,
Hey, what's up?
What do we talk about?
Yeah.
How'd your date?
Yeah.
And I believe she also does not want that either, and I
Yeah.
think as long as that the desire is there to want that thing and that we still choose each other, because we don't have to be together.
Yeah.
We choose each other. I think that's a big definition of love. It's way bigger than a feeling than what this world thinks it is. It's a feeling. No, it's not. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because not every day you're gonna like her. She's not gonna like you.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at your face, but I choose to love you today.
Mhm.
I choose you instead of this. And I think just answering that, you guys have helped me answer that. As long as I continue to be intentional, and I think my intentions are correct in that too. That I want to be intentional, and I know what the struggle is. I'd be afraid if I didn't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, because I want to put her first. I want her to know that you're important to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for your kids to see that.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
You know?
I 100%
Yeah.
agree. So that's my biggest thing for me. And
Shout,
I appreciate you guys sharing.
Shout out
that.
to Fred also having his new kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
awesome.
Welcome to the Girl Dad Club, bud.
Yeah. He's yeah. I saw he got a new truck.
Yeah.
Rich
well,
ass motherfucker. Just kidding. Oh man. Yeah. Shout out to him and shout out to Alex too. I know Alex.
Alex as well.
Yeah.
So at least Zoe has uncles that have, law enforcement.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Alex from our squad
He's
that played with us.
Yeah.
Alex
West
Covina.
Covina.
He's West Covina, bro.
I've been wanting to. I've been driving around
Yeah,
intentionally looking in the cars.
Yeah.
Just
Pull
to
me
run
over.
into him. Yeah.
Pull me
to
over.
run into him. He works for West Covina PD.
Yeah.
He played with Organized Noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let me run, bro. Just give him a chase a little bit.
Yeah. And then you pull me over. Like, what's up, now?
Yeah. Shout out to them, man.
Shout out to
that's
them.
a tough job,
All right, man. We'll pull the train into the station. We've been talking a lot for a little bit, but
It's been that long already?
yeah, it's been about an hour and 30 right now.
Already?
Let's
Dang.
see. First, another one. Give another father. Okay. What do you want to wish? Something kids remember about you. All right. We'll get into our fast 5 questions. I usually, for anybody who's new to the pod, we do fast 5 questions. I ask you 5 questions, whatever comes to your mind, that's your answer. And yeah, Vince already did it. I had Clint do it, so I'm sure you know.
I heard that.
You heard that.
Yeah, that's a.
So if there's something that you don't do, just
So
I
first
don't
answer
like any.
comes to my head.
Yeah, first answer comes in.
Am I having choices or just like?
No, it's just I'm
Oh,
gonna ask you a
shoot.
question.
Oh, man,
First
I
answer in your
forgot.
head. That's the answer you give.
Forgive me in advance.
Yeah. All right. Ready? First question is movie on repeat. If there's no movie, you can TV show.
All time or currently?
Just currently. Movie on repeat.
Movie. Damn, we don't even. I don't stay awake long enough to watch the whole movie.
What is the first intro you want to do?
It'll be right now because of Zoe. It'll be Moana.
Okay.
That'll be the first movie.
Cool.
1 or 2? 1.
One.
One.
I don't think I've seen 2 yet fully, like in its entirety.
Yeah.
1 is like every day. It's like Moana.
That's awesome. All right. Describe yourself in one word.
Talkative.
Liquor or beer?
Liquor.
What kind of liquor?
Whiskey.
Whiskey. Awesome. Favorite place to eat?
Man. Dang. I'll just say of all time, dude, Banana Bay, bro. I just had that the other week.
That's hype.
That's bomb.
All right. And one song that you'd play because you're about to get hyped up.
Oh shoot! Thank God I didn't say cry. Hyped up. Dang, I don't know. What do I listen to now? Do I listen to country and father-daughter songs all the time now? Like I won't even lie. Like that's. What do I get hyped to? I don't even know if I get hyped to stuff anymore. Dang, that's tough. Shoot. Can I pass on that one?
Yeah, sure.
Only because I
That's
can't.
the last
That's
one?
how long.
Well,
it's been to
okay,
get
what song
hyped.
are you currently listening to now?
Bro,
Twinkle, twinkle.
no. Okay, if you guys haven't heard this song yet, bro. Well, there's a lot of father-daughter songs break my heart in a good way. There's this song called "Yours" by Post Malone on his new album. If just
Yeah, I heard it.
listen to it, dude.
Yeah.
Man, if that doesn't break your heart, it's just in a good way. It's just, that.
Yeah.
It's just, I just want to,
Listen to this song by Brett Young,
which one?
Lady.
Damn,
Have you heard that
one?
song?
That's probably on the list. I have to look at that one too.
So listen to this song, but this song,
Lady,
Brett
Young.
it's a 2 for 1. It's for your wife and your daughter.
Yeah. Okay. Thank God too, as well, by Kane Brown. That one's really good. We just came from his concert. We want to make sure, but those are country songs and girl daughter songs. What I listen to nowadays. There's no need to be hype. I guess right now in life. I play
Well,
basketball.
I mean, hey, dog, I be driving to work and I'm like, I need something to pick me up.
What's Aaron?
Yeah, what is your guys'
for his baseball? He has his walk-up songs.
Uh-huh.
So right now, his walk-up song is Triple H's entrance song.
Oh yeah.
Dang, time to play the game.
Time to play the game.
Did he spit the water out too after? No.
But that's his walk-up song. But
But
he has a game this afternoon. What should his walk-up song for today be?
oh, you didn't know?
Oh.
You better ask
Does,
somebody.
does he know that one?
I don't know if you know.
That's
Road Dog.
Yeah, Road Dog Jesse James. Oh
The
my.
Outlaws.
God,
Yeah.
the Outlaws was fire.
He was talking to me yesterday. He's like, Shawn Michaels "Heartbreak Kid" song.
Heartbreak
Oh, that'd be
Kid.
good.
Stone Cold's.
Here he did Stone Cold already.
The Rock's always pretty solid.
Let's see.
Yeah, no. Oh, you didn't know it would be a curveball.
Well,
I don't. The sad part is I don't think a lot of people would know that, unless only the parents. Like you see a parent all hyped up, like
Like one kid has like Enter Sandman.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay. At least I get to choose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope.
Good for you, man. Keep playing. You know what? Love the game.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
What's up, man?
What are you listening to?
You good? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys listen to get hyped? Just off that question. What is a hype song for you now?
It's
Shake
still,
That Monkey.
It's still the same shit.
Oh,
Tell me when to
Shake That
go.
Monkey.
I be
Well,
ghost ride the whip.
that never gets old.
Huh?
That is a that if I want to go back to a time, and I remember listening to you guys talking about this in the last podcast with Clint. Well, I want to just go back to a time. I'll listen to that. Listen to
What
stuff
my
like that.
favorite words?
Yeah, that's still that. I think that's forever. Yeah, that's forever.
If I want to ever get hype, it's
Yeah,
Shake
that's the
That
song.
Monkey, man.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Or What It Gonna Be
oh.
with Lil Jon.
I don't even
That
know.
or I honestly listen to like the Thizzle Dance. I'll listen to anything like from the Bay.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's just all like regular shit that we used to listen to.
Yeah.
Tell me when to go. Walk it out.
Mhm.
Fucking.
I think it's also been molded for me. Why I haven't. Because we're very adamant right now, because we know it's gonna happen. Like when very first, like the type of music we listen to when we're in the car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Listen to that stuff.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
No, I
Steph-
was the
right?
same way.
So I found like even Steph, like bless her heart, I love her. She knows the songs, but she's like, why are they so angry? Like I don't. Why are you mad all the time? And so like it that was her interpretation. It wasn't like I always was mad, but I was like, what do I find that we could listen to together?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like slowly dwindled down my music.
country.
Yeah, bro. I think we might be going to Stagecoach next year,
I'm going to go next year.
bro.
I told my wife. So I got into country when my kids were younger because like I can't be listening to the music I'm listening to. So I'm like, what can I listen to in the car? So it came down to like Kid Bop, and I'm like, you could only listen to Kid Bop
Yeah.
for so much.
Yeah.
100%.
Like Disney songs. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Then I started
Country.
listening to country, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, they could listen to country.
yeah.
But then now it's like little by little, like my son's starting to.
Yeah, they're gonna start telling us songs. I'm like, "Dang, okay, I guess we could
You know,
listen
he's
to
like
it again.
he's like Kendrick Lamar and Future. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of, where'd you listen to this stuff?
Yeah.
It was in my car.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Yeah, when we were there growing up, I was listening to oldies. I mean, I used to listen to oldies all the time, but that's what was playing in my car all the time was just
Yeah.
oldies.
Yeah.
And then now that most of my kids are growing up, it kind of morphed now back to 90s,
Here's a real playlist.
20,
Yeah, 90s or
90
so.
2000 R&B.
Yeah.
I went back
Have
to
you
that now.
introduced them to R&B music? 90s, 2000 R&Bs? Have you introduced your kids to that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to move
I
back
need
to
to
there.
introduce them to that.
Yeah.
I moved back now to there now
That
because
will
they're
always be a
older
safe
now.
haven, man. That
So
music for sure.
it's a mix of that those now, and then they have these new artists now where they're doing covers of the oldies.
Yeah.
So so that I play that a lot because they
That's
have it's a more upbeat
Yeah.
kind of
As long as they don't
rhythm.
interpret that's like the real like no
Yeah.
that here's where it came from.
yeah.
Son or daughter.
Yeah.
That's all I
So.
need to know.
But
No.
do you mind asking if I ask Aaron a question?
That's fine.
No. Aaron, can I ask you a question? You want to consider real quick? All right, it's just one. I have just one question for you. Okay. If you can describe your dad in one word, what would it be?
Passionate.
Damn. That's a good word. That's a good word.
That's a really great description of your dad.
And how old are you?
10.
Beautiful, bro. Man, that's when you know. How do you feel about that?
Proud. You know, my wife always says he's literally a little version of me.
Yeah.
But I happen to think I think he's a better version of me.
Mm.
That's all you want.
Amen.
You know, like
That's what I tell my son all the time. I was like, I don't care what happens. You just need to be better than me.
Amen.
and like I tell my wife, if he could be better than I am,
Yeah.
I am good.
Yeah. And you know what? Shout out to you for that, man. If that's man.
Cause he can play baseball, and Ray knows. I tried playing softball. We were in an adult softball league.
I vow to never. Shout out to those who still play. We have friends that do.
Oh my God.
I appreciate y'all and admire. If you catch me in a softball league, that's when.
Nah,
you know,
look at.
it's-
All I gotta
I don't
say,
know, bro.
no, hold on. When Vince talks about loyalty, bro, right, and how loyal to the soil where Janet is, when that time we played softball, and Vince threw a pass to her to first base, and she got hit in the face, I'll tell you right now, I thought at that moment of time, I was like, I don't know where it's gonna go from
She
here.
had to go to the emergency room. She had to get stitches in her eye.
Yeah.
You broke her eye?
Yeah, because she didn't catch the ball with the glove. She caught it with her face.
I had a couple questions, but I'm gonna save that for a personal.
I
off the
love you,
camera
Janet,
conversation.
but
To this day, she claims I threw the ball too fast at her. I'm like, I don't even know how to throw the ball fast. Like, Ray can attest to this. Like,
So,
I don't like. Okay, for Filipinos, we don't grow up in baseball.
yeah, no, we don't. No,
Okay.
we do not.
I never learned how to throw a ball.
Yeah, that's fair.
So when I throw a baseball, it was like this.
he was shooting a shot.
The jumper was good.
That's probably why she missed it. 'Cause
Yeah.
she thought it was gonna come
wasn't
at her.
straight,
Yeah,
but it
was
came from
like-
above.
it was like-
See, man, shout out to y'all, man.
oh my God! All right,
Good for you. Good job, Aaron.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. And you know what? If there's something I can encourage you to do, is whenever you get a chance to tell mom and dad thank you, and this is no pressure on you, do that. And for you
Yeah.
to be able to describe your dad in that word,
yeah,
I don't know. That's a beautiful thing.
that's
'Cause
that's a great word.
I felt that about my dad, but I also felt all these other things. And it's only now I'm telling
Yeah.
him certain things like
Yeah.
thank you. Like he just retired. Like
Yeah.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
I think as a dad, we don't look for it. I don't think as parents, but it's also it's like checkpoints in life to know like, man, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
Right. It comes from our spouse. Bless
that-
their heart as well. Too.
And that
It
is that is one thing that
comes from our children, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
that your parents look for is they will never ask you to say thank you to them.
Yeah.
They will never seek the validation
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah.
But it's always good to understand what your parents are doing for you in the moment,
Yeah.
and for you to understand like, hey, like, you know, my life could be different.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm blessed to have everything I have.
100%.
I'm blessed that I have parents who give me everything that I have. And I know you're a good kid. And I believe that you will understand that. And, you know, in life, you'll continue to bless and validate your dad's hard work.
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing.
Good for you, man.
Academy Award winning actor.
Hey, let's do it, bro. Let's do it. We'll see it. And go
If
knock
not here, open the Philippines.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, wherever you gotta go.
They love
bro.
the mixed ones out
Yeah,
there.
that's what I'm
bro.
saying,
They
dog,
love the
you
mixed
know?
ones out there, and that's a beautiful thing, man.
But is there any if you can tell your dad one thing right now, what would you tell him?
That's man.
Thank you.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is. And with that, this is Father Pod
That is a
episode
wrap.
2. Again,
Thanks
you.
for
DJ,
having us, man.
Vince,
Thank you, bro,
for showing
having
up.
me.
Thank you for our special cameo. I'll make sure to send this out to all the what's it called, movie producers and stuff like that.
All the scouts,
Get
for
you
sure.
on, yeah,
Yeah, good luck today,
Yeah.
man. Go knock some out.
yeah. Good luck today on your game. And we'll be back for episode 3
Yeah,
in
man.
another
Let's
month.
do this again.
Peace.
Peace.
Back, baby. Shout out Juice on the beat.